I just get 7? You want a donut this morning? It's a little more stale in the bag. I have to let you know.
I think I'm fine.
I don't think I've seen you eat anything other than pastries.
I really like that.
I'm kind of concerned for your well-being.
Have you always been an artist?
I have actually. I've been an artist since I was little.
That's what they look like. I can tell. That is
I've seen a lot of them.
Chester, were you like laughing to yourself last night? It's like kind of obnoxious.
Sorry. So the traveler taught me how to make myself look like other people, right?
Okay.
So I made myself look like my mom, and then I lured him out onto our balcony, and he was wearing nothing but like this girdle of hers. And then I locked the door. We're pirates.
I know. Your tenacity is impressive.
But we stole things, but they gave something back just like you always teach, you know?
Maintain that balance. That seed of chaos.
think it's safe to say that this first case is closed. So we could open some sort of private investigation service.
That's what we should do.
Out of the tent.
Let's not open it here, though. This counts. What's your name?
Galen
Galen.
Westman.
I like your name.
Thank you.
Have you heard of the traveler? Galen.
Of many travelers, but
Have you heard of the traveler? Do you want maybe a brochure? I can tell you about him.
okay.
Okay. Blorp. Chat view. No. Stop it. There we go. Good morning, Gumshoes. Carmen Sandiego has stolen the world's largest peach from Georgia, and it's up to you three to track her down. Second place gets a copy of our home game on PC or Mac, and first place gets a free trip to the destination of their choice. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? What a throwback. I don't actually remember the theme music, but it's probably one of those things where if I heard it, I'd instantly go, I know this. All right. So I need to open the recording manuscript. Good morning, Lady Tamara. Good morning, Swiftness. Good morning, Vale. And good morning, Cameron. Burp, 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 burp. Nope. Okay. So I just need to record one chapter today. If I can record one chapter, I'm a happy guy. Ugh. Because I did not record at all last month. Shoot. Da, 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 da. No, not you. Hey, morning, B-Pen. How we doing? I'm good. Just getting set up to record. Check. Check, check. Well, hello there, everyone. I believe in us. I believe in our ability to get through at least one fucking chapter of this book. Ha ha ha. Chair cam. I get it. Boy, I can already hear in my mouth that I need some apple slices. Oh, fuck. Okay. We get to engage in the fun experience of trying to remember what the fuck characters sounded like when we recorded them 2 months ago. Got it. Okay, so just generic twink was what we went with. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Vale, you can't. You can't, man. Come on. You can't. No, you can't do it. Vale. Vale, no. No. No, man, you can't. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm going to die. I'm going to die in a booth, murdered by Vale. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my ribs actually hurt. Oh, lordy lord. All right. Wait, why is there no pre-roll? Oh, there is, okay. Okay, Lifemage Dawning, recording day 4, beginning as always with 30 seconds of silence, beginning now. All right. Chapter 5. Lifemage Dawning, Chapter 5. The next day the storm lessened. They pressed on through a lighter rain that could not soak through their oiled cloaks. But some hours before sunset, something else brought them to a halt. They came suddenly upon a blasted land. There were no trees, only blackened stumps thrusting impotently out of tortured dirt. The river was visible some ways off to the north, but other than that the land was featureless in every direction. The lovers huddled closer to Flip and Oris as though frightened. "What happened here?" said Ombi. Okay, and now what does Oris sound like? Nope, don't do that. It must have been a fire. It must have been a fire. It must have been a fire. It must have been a fire, said Oris. It looks recent. It wasn't recent, said Flip. I travelled here once before, and I learned the story of this region. The folk who once lived here called it football. The folk who once lived here called it the Breeze Boughs, and scholars who lived 1,000 leagues away and had never seen it named it the Southern Forest of Mist. It was home to a wizard king, one of the last, a man named Perrin. Like all his kind, he was an eater of mage stones. The others looked to him in confusion, all but Sylvan, whose jaw tightened. And what the fuck does Kara sound like? Mage stones, said Kara. What are they? You might say were, for they're not to be found any more, said Flip.
Or at least they're so heavily outlawed that even talking about them can land you in prison. Remember that, please, and never speak of them in company you do not trust, for I should hate to be responsible for getting you in trouble with the King's law. They're black crystals, and any wizard who eats them gains unimaginable power. That's how the Wizard Kings ruled the 9 kingdoms.
And what the fuck does Sylvan sound like to complete the collection? I didn't export a Sylvan sample. What the fuck? Garrett, what the fuck were you thinking? You fucking... This is fine. I'm fine. How are you? Okay.
Ruled them and almost destroyed them, said Sylvan. Flip smirked. Mayhap. In any case, the High King Andriana outlawed their use... Mayhap. In any case, the High King Andriana outlawed their use long ago, on pain of death. She sent her mystics forth through Underrealm to depose any king who disobeyed her. King Perrin fought his last stand here, with many mages by his side. Mage stones turned their flames black and terrible, and they scarred the land forever, as you can see. In the end it was not enough. Perrin was slain, though many of the mystics fell before he did. It's only a pity he did not wipe them out. A bitterness seemed to be rising in Sylvan, and it filled the air with a palpable tremor, like the sky before thunder. If Perrin had won, it would have spelled the doom of Underrealm, she said. Flip's lip curled, and his eyes took on a dangerous light as he looked upon her. Are you a lover of mystics, then? The bitterness in Sylvan's eyes flared to anger. Hardly. But the days of the Wizard Kings were the darkest chapter in Underrealm's history. Not all folk... Not all folk have forgotten the evil they committed across the land, even if you have. I've forgotten nothing, said Flip with a razor smile. I'm nothing but glad Perrin died. I'm only happy he... I'm nothing but glad Perrin died. I'm only happy he took so many redbacks with him. I've never much loved the Order. Because of your cousin, said Sylvan. Both Flip and Oris turned to her incredulously. How in the dark below do you know that? Said Flip. Some of Sylvan's anger had faded, and now she smirked. I told you from the start, my master knows a great many things. Do you think he would have sent me chasing you across Underrealm if he did not? The lovers seemed to sense the danger building. Ombi took Flip's hand. What happened to your cousin? He said gently. Ombi, warned Oris. No, there's no reason they shouldn't know. Flip kept his gaze on Sylvan. My cousin was leading a caravan through Selvan. He was waylaid in the night. Everyone was killed. Butchered. My family thought bandits did it, but they never found out who. So I went there myself, against my mother's wishes. I found a mystic badge, trampled in the dirt near where the caravan had burned. The 3 rods, the circle, and the wings. Not enough evidence to convince the king's law, of course. But then, why would they arrest their own? The Red Cloaks slaughtered my cousin and all his attendants. He was barely even grown. He tilted his chin up slightly as he regarded Sylvan. Remember that when you think of the mystics and their heroism. I feel like those waveforms are a little small, but I don't want to change the volume settings now. Sylvan had not looked at him while he told his story, but now she met his gaze. I was only 9 years old when the mystics killed my parents. Oris's lungs felt suddenly empty. Flip blinked twice. What? He stammered. They came in the night, said Sylvan. They dragged my mother and father out into the street and gutted them. And then they did the same to the rest of my village. Everyone I had ever known. In the dark and in their bloodlust, they were about to kill me, too. Then one of them realized I was only a child. I do not remember much else of that night. In time it was arranged for me to be taken in by a nobleman, my master, who I have mentioned before. It was he who saw to my education and my training." They all let the silence hang for a moment. Then Flip went to her and put a hand on her shoulder. "Dark take them," he declared. "Them and all those of great wealth and power. They value our lives only as coins to be spent to achieve their own ends." Sylvan gave him a bitter smile that looked ready to shatter. "As you say." 2 days later they woke to another terrible storm, but this time they had no snug cave to keep them safe from the sky's fury. So they huddled wearily into their cloaks and pressed on through the wet. They had passed through the blasted land and back into forest, but the storm was so terrible that the trees provided little protection against it. As the hours passed and the weather showed no signs of lessening, Oris grew worried. Marching through this all day could easily make one of the party ill, or even cause an injury. Flip seemed to feel the same way. "We can't go on all day this way," he said. "Let's build a camp and try to weather it." "Our tents will be no proof against the rain," said Oris. "We'll only be sitting still, which will make the cold worse, and then our tents will remain soaked the rest of the trip." "Can you do anything?" said Ombi, looking pleadingly at Flip. "I'm not Doran and cannot command the sky," said Flip, scowling. "I'm not Doran and cannot command the sky," said Flip, scowling. Suddenly, Sylvan's eyes flashed. "Not Doran, but mayhap there is something you could do," she said. "You are a wizard of some strength, are you not?" Flip looked at Oris and rolled his eyes. "I am strong enough for my purposes and the purposes of some others," he said. "Why?" "Can you build a roof of water?" she said. "Using the rain itself. I have seen it done before." Flip frowned. "A roof? If the runoff... and I would have to... One moment." He stepped away from them all. As he muttered an incantation, his eyes filled with a bright glow. From the raindrops all around he formed a small globe, and then it grew larger and larger between his twisting hands. Soon he flattened it and lifted it so that it was over his head, and then it began to grow. Soon it was 2 paces wide, and the lovers dove beneath it with happy cries. A moment later there was room enough for Oris and Sylvan to step out of the rain as well. When drops struck the roof, they joined it, and Flip shaped it so that there was a steady runoff at the back, splashing none of them. It was like being under an awning at the home of some wealthy noble, able to observe the weather without suffering from it. They all cast back the hoods of their cloaks and took deep breaths of relief. "You are wonderful!" cried Ombi. He threw his arms around Flip's neck and kissed him on the cheek. "Remarkable," said Sylvan, looking appraisingly at Flip. "I have suggested this trick to others, but you are the first who could pull it off." "Am I really?" said Flip with a grin. His eyes still glowed as they held the water's shape in his mind. "And where did you say you learned it again?" She did not answer, but only smiled wider and looked again at the rain. "Wisdom may be found in many places, not just the academy." "Fine," said Flip, rolling his eyes. "But just now I chic Selter."
Wait a minute. Oh my god, you... Y'all. Oh, I fucked up and I didn't even realize. Oh my god. My chapters have fucking titles. And for some reason in the manuscript I'm recording from, the titles are missing. What the hell? Hold on, I'm gonna go grab my laptop. Okay. Can't believe I don't know what happened there. But yeah. Chapter 5 The Rustening Verge. Lifemage Dawning, Chapter 5 The Rustening Verge. But just now I seek shelter and not wisdom. There must be somewhere more permanent we can hide from the rain and dry off, at least for a time. A flash of lightning split the sky. They all shielded their eyes and blinked, all except Kara, who pointed instead. "Look," she said. "What is that?" They all peered through the storm. There, far in the distance, there was a black shape atop a ridge. Oris could not be sure, but it looked like a building, and a large one. "What under the sky?" muttered Flip. "There's no towns out here that I remember." Another flash of lightning struck, and Oris saw high stone walls. "Not a town," she said. "A stronghold." "So far from any settlements?" said Kara. Sylvan's expression had grown troubled. "We should avoid it," she said. "There are many such places in these lands, but they were abandoned long ago. Now they are dens of bandits or wild animals. Even in the best case, it will leave a trail for those who hunt us." Privately, Oris agreed with her, but, too, she knew that secrecy would do them no good if they froze to death or perished from illness in the wilderness. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning split a nearby beech tree with a terrible explosion. The lovers jumped and screamed, and the light died in Flip's eyes. The roof of water fell on all their heads, soaking them straight to the skin. "That settles it," said Flip, as he scrambled to rebuild the water ceiling. "You may do as you like. I am getting a stone roof over my head." He set off for the stronghold at a brisk walk, and the lovers scrambled to keep up. "We can think up a better plan when we are there," Oris told Wefishni. "We can think up a better plan when we are there," Oris told Sylvan. "But at least we shall have 4 walls to shelter in." "Or perish inside," said Sylvan darkly, but she followed along regardless. It took them 2 hours to reach the stronghold, slipping in the mud and cursing all the while. The path up the ridge to the stronghold cut back and forth. Oris reflected that if the place were occupied, it would have been in an excellent position of defense. Every turn in the path was under the stronghold's arrow slits, glaring at them like watchful eyes. The top of the main keep had fallen partially to ruin, but there was a mighty watchtower that looked to be intact. The front gate stood open, much to their relief. Across the bailey, the door to the main building yawned wide and dark. There might once have been a wooden door in the frame, but it had rotted away or been removed long ago. They crowded into the entry space within. The lovers went to sit against the wall, heaving great sighs of relief. "Thank the sky,"
said Flip. "Now, if we could only get a fire going, this place could almost be pleasant." "But you are a fire mage," said Ombi. Flip smiled down at him. "I need fuel, my darling, for I can't burn stone, and it wearies me to burn only air for too long." "I'll find some wood," said Oris. "There must be some old furniture we can use for the purpose." "I will come with you," said Sylvan. "This place has an evil feel, and you should not go alone." "Let me go with her," said Flip. "She'll need my magic to light the way." Sylvan's jaw looked hard as iron. "I am not letting both of you out of my sight within this place." Flip rolled his eyes. "Then all three of us can go." Oris grimaced. "I don't think we should leave the lovers alone, Flip." "Just go!" cried Kara and Ombi in unison. Both lovers made great shooing motions at the trio. "We will freeze to death here while the three of you argue," said Ombi. "Be quick about it. If you hear us screaming, you will know a bear has lumbered into the room. Come and save us, quickly." Oris had to smile at that. "Very well," she said. "We'll return as quickly as we may." As the lovers sat resting against the stone wall, Oris, Flip, and Sylvan left their packs and set off into the darkness of the stronghold. "So, what do you know of this place?" said Flip. "You seem to have some idea of its reputation." Sylvan never took her eyes off the shadows around them. "Long ago, many strongholds like this one were built in this land, which was once called Foreland. Underrealm was young, and this was its frontier. The scattered folk who dwelled here at the time were descended from hedgemen, and though the headish chiefs were reluctant to face Wrath upon the field, the farmers here fought like they had battalions at their backs. Wrath's general was Sylvan, daughter of Renna the Sunmane, for whom the kingdom of Selvan was named, and so was I. And she built these fortresses in this wild land to keep the south border secure. But as time went on, and Dorsey and the other kingdoms were conquered one by one, the strongholds fell into disuse."
Coffee.
New roads built by new kings avoided them, traveling across open country to more directly join the towns and cities that were no longer in constant danger of being raided. Thus these places were abandoned and forgotten, though some old maps still contain them. I would need to look at one to be sure, but I think this stronghold was once called the Rustening Verge.
Flip looked impressed, and he made no attempt to hide it.
"I am not the only one with some knowledge of history, it seems."
Sylvan smiled, but it looked grim.
"My master ensured I was well educated."
But then her smile vanished.
"Oris, what is it?"
Oris was staring at something. They had passed through 2 hallways into a large chamber that looked like it might once have been a dining hall. One door to the north surely led to the stronghold's bailey, and there were 2 hearths set in the southern wall, empty and cold. There were no old pieces of furniture to be found, but Oris had seen a crumpled bit of cloth in the corner that looked like a fallen tapestry. She had been walking towards it when she froze in place.
"It looks like a nest." "No. It looks like a nest." "It looks like a nest," said Oris. Flip and Sylvan came to her side, studying the fallen tapestry. It was crumpled up and curled in a sort of ridge around the edges, forming a soft place to lay in the center. It did indeed look just like a nest of some beast larger than a human, but Oris knew of no beasts that size that made themselves nests like this. "Could it be a bear?" said Flip. "Mayhap," said Oris, though she shook her head. "But they don't often den in places like this." "But they don't often den in places like this." "They do not," agreed Sylvan, creeping closer. She knelt and then stood with something in her hand. "Look, a bone. The gore on it is still red." "Dark," spat Oris. "What?" said Flip. "Who cares if it's red?" "It hasn't had enough time to dry out," said Oris. She turned and drew her sword. It glimmered in the faint gray sunlight shining through the windows of the dining hall, which were 5 paces above the ground. Sylvan stepped up beside her, bearing her own steel. "So it's recent," said Flip. His eyes glowed as he muttered under his breath, and flame sprang to life in his other palm. "Something lives here." "Something that hunts," said Oris. "We should not have come," said Sylvan. "Let us get the lovers and leave as quickly as we may." "But what is it?" said Flip. "If we can kill whatever beast this is—" "Hist!" Sylvan's whisper was so harsh that Flip listened. She cocked her head. Oris saw her arms twitch as though she wished to move but restrained herself. She turned to the two of them, her expression one of dread. "Not a beast," she said. From the front hall where they had left the lovers, they heard a long and piercing scream.
Okay, I'm not going to lie, that chapter felt a little rough. But whatever, we did it. We've recorded a chapter, and I have fulfilled my own sense of duty to myself.
Hey, sweetie, I'm done. You can start getting the kids up. I'm going to wrap up, and I will take them shortly.
Okay. Love you. Okay. Love you. Bye. Okay. That's going to be it for me today. Who are we going to raid? Has to be someone worthy. Someone of exceptional quality and ability. And amplitude. And it's going to be Fairy Wings, who's all of those things. Oh no, my headphones. Oh no. I'm glad it was fun to listen to, Vale. I hope everyone else enjoyed themselves as well. We're rating Fairy Wings. She's an awesome creator and a lovely person. Say hi to her for me. I am going to get out of here and head off to the old day job. Tomorrow I'm flying to Colorado for a wedding, but I don't need to leave for that until like noon. So I want to get up early, as per usual, record, take the kids to their camp, and then come back and record some more until the very minute I have to leave. So that's my plan for tomorrow. Hope to see some of you there for a little bit of a longer stream than usual. And other than that, thank you so much for coming and hanging out, and I will see you on the next stream. Bye!
Volts each.
Vlog! VlogaNovel raided with 5 viewers.
Hi, Raiders.
Hi vlog, how are you doing?
Chan. You have the solar, which is 240. But you know that's not going to do a whole lot. Because it's free power.
I'm here. So scoliosis? Or spinal that thing?
That thing.